Yes, I did name my daughter Richard. I just always really loved the name Richard, and I wanted a boy, but I had a girl, and I decided to name her Richard anyway.
There is nothing more embarrassing than walking around with one of these. Everyone knows how it got there. You know what you did.
There's a woman who once sat in bed with Drake, interviewing him like she couldn't care less.
How much money do you have?
A significant amount.
How much?
Guess.
Could you buy me a Lamborghini right now?
Yeah.
And not think about it. It wouldn't hurt you financially if you just bought me a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
She became famous overnight, millions of followers, major agency deals, award nominations, and now her podcast is dead, her marriage is over, and the internet is throwing a party. This is the rise and brutal fall of Bobbi Althoff, and honestly, she might have earned every bit of it. 2 days to Drake. Let me take you back to a moment that should have never happened. A relatively unknown TikTok mum with 500,000 followers somehow ends up in Drake's bed. Not in the way you're thinking, well, maybe in that way, too. We'll get to that. But literally interviewing one of the biggest stars on the planet while lying next to him. Am I your type? She asks him, deadpan, emotionless. I do it, Drake responds. Thank you, I do it too. Not an it, he corrects her.
Am I your type?
I do it.
Thank you.
I do it. There's you
Not an it.
No, I just felt like
You do it? I asked, am I your type? And you said, I do it. It's not funny.
And just like that, Bobbi Althoff became a household name. But here's the thing, nobody talks about. 3 days before that interview happened, Drake didn't even know who she was. She slid into his DMs and asked if he'd come on her podcast. She figured the chances of him replying were maybe 1%. The chances of him saying yes, she thought, were basically zero. He replied instantly, sent her his tour schedule. And 2 days later, she was on a plane to Memphis. 2 days, the birthday she missed. Now, you might be thinking, that's ambition, that's hustle, that's someone who seized an opportunity. But let me tell you what else happened 2 days before she got on that plane. Her daughter's birthday. She missed it, completely skipped it to interview Drake. Drake himself even called her out for it. When Drake thinks you're a bad parent, that should tell you something. But Bobbi didn't care, because for her, this was never about the art. It was never about connection or storytelling or building something meaningful. It was about money. I need a podcast. She said it herself multiple times on camera without shame. $250,000 a year is great and all, but I was like, this doesn't have longevity. She watched a video of another podcaster talking about income and mentally decided that woman was making at least $300,000 from her podcast alone. I was like, that's what I need I need a podcast. Not because she loved podcasting, not because she had something important to say, because it paid better than mommy content on TikTok. And you know what? It worked. Kind of. Bobbi created this bizarre interviewing style where she acted completely disinterested in her guests, like she hadn't prepared, didn't know who they were, and couldn't be bothered to care. Some people thought it was hilarious. A genius bit, a fresh take on celebrity interviews. Others thought she was just rude. The truth? It was somewhere in between. But the real problem wasn't the persona, it was what was happening behind the scenes. When everything fell apart. Because right around the time that Drake episode blew up, something else blew up too, her marriage. In February 2024, Bobbi and her husband Corey filed for divorce. According to the paperwork, they cited irreconcilable differences. But here's where it gets interesting. Corey marked the official separation date as July 4th, 2023. That's the exact same month she flew out to interview Drake. The exact same month she missed their daughter's birthday. Coincidence? Maybe. But then Bobbi did something that made everyone think otherwise. Make more money, darling. She started talking about the divorce. A lot. And every time she did, she made it sound like the problem was that her husband wasn't making enough money. The timing lined up perfectly with me getting a lot of money, she said, almost bragging about it. Once I knew my career was going to take off, I was okay. Then old videos started resurfacing. Videos where she absolutely berated her husband for not earning enough. Honey, it sounds like you have an income problem. Not that I have a spending problem. Start earning more money and we won't have these issues. She even admitted she booked an $8,000 vacation and charged it to his credit card just to spite him. Make more money, darling. The internet turned on her instantly because it wasn't just about the divorce. It was about what she represented, someone who abandoned her family, her marriage, and her values to chase fame and wealth. The Drake conspiracy. And then it got worse. She and Drake unfollowed each other. The episode disappeared from her channel. Gone. No explanation. Rumors exploded. Did they hook up? Did Drake's sensitivity about her not enjoying his concert cause the fallout? Did Corey find out something? Even people she interviewed started making jokes about it. Ryan Garcia, the unhinged boxer, casually dropped on camera. Bobbi Althoff fucked Drake, and that's why she got a divorce. Bobbi denied it. Sort of, but the damage was done. And here's the thing, whether or not she actually had an affair doesn't even matter anymore, because the public had already decided who she was. A money-hungry opportunist who sacrificed everything for 15 minutes of fame, and she kept proving them right. The party girl era. After the divorce, she started talking openly about wanting to sleep around, about being divorced at 27 with 2 kids and wanting to have fun before turning 30. She was photographed getting carried out of bars, limp in the arms of athletes and rappers. Her comments filled up with people accusing her of being an absent mother. She tried to defend herself, posted photos with her kids, added captions like, "Before any of you motherfuckers start, my baby is literally on my lap." But it didn't matter. The narrative was set. And then her views started dropping. The tables turned. The same audience that once tuned in to watch her awkwardly interview celebrities, they were only showing up now to watch her get roasted. Offset destroyed her on her own podcast. Other guests followed suit. They figured out the game. Bobbi isn't here to make you look good, so why should you make her look good? She started losing control of her own show. And then came the tour disaster. Bobbi teamed up with Funny Marco, another viral internet personality, to do a live comedy tour. It should have been easy money, but it was a disaster. Marco had to cancel shows because Bobbi's performance was so stiff, so lifeless, that audiences felt ripped off. "I'm like, hey man, let's really work on this," Marco said. And she told me, "That's not me. My comedy is me not talking a lot." He tried to explain that what works on a podcast doesn't work on stage, that people paid money to be entertained, not to watch her stand there in uncomfortable silence. She didn't care. "I'm trying my best, but I have social anxiety. It's hard for me to get out of my comfort zone." Here's a person who flew across the country to interview Drake in 2 days, who built an entire career on getting in rooms with famous people. But now, suddenly, she has social anxiety. The tour fell apart, the views kept dropping, and Bobbi kept spiraling. The breakdown. She cried on camera about a failed relationship, talked about raising the bar for men and then being heartbroken when it didn't work out. She admitted she judged her mum for having 2 baby daddies and now realized she might end up the same way. "I failed, but I tried," she said, defeated. The internet had no sympathy. This is what happens when you leave your family to chase clout. The end. And then, just a few months ago, Bobbi made an announcement. The podcast is over. The Really Good podcast is done, finished, dead. Some people speculated it's a rebrand, a publicity stunt, but Bobbi insists it's real. It's really over. And you know what? Maybe it is. Because the audience she built, they didn't love her. They loved watching her fail. They loved watching Drake brush her off, watching Offset roast her, watching Funny Marco call her out. They loved the spectacle of someone who wanted fame so badly that she was willing to sacrifice everything for it, and then watching that fame crumble in real time. What she lost along the way. Bobbi Althoff became famous for not caring, and in the end, that's exactly why nobody cares about her anymore. She traded her marriage for money, her family for fame, her authenticity for views, and when the views dried up, she had nothing left. So here's the question. Did Bobbi Althoff deserve this downfall? Maybe, maybe not. But what's undeniable is this. She built her career on a foundation of shortcuts, opportunism, and hollow ambition. And when you build something on nothing, it collapses just as fast as it rises. The internet is a brutal place. It'll lift you up overnight and tear you down even faster. Bobbi Althoff learned that the hard way. And honestly, the saddest part isn't that her podcast is over. It's that she might never realize what she lost along the way.